Hi, my name is Diana Karamakoska. For this video, we will be looking at forming teams and collaboration. The stages of team formation involve the forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Now, the last one is not applicable to all types of teams that are formed, but we will go through each of these in more detail now. Forming is when individuals gather together in an effort to join forces in pursuit of a common goal or purpose. This would be to help your client or your patient. Communication is usually cordial and polite as members are still getting to know each other. It is the introductory stage of team formation and thus requires an outline of everybody's roles and responsibilities in the team. When we look at storming, this emerges when there is serious conflicts due to disagreement over policy matters. So for example, the goals that were set, the processes involved to reach those goals, as well as the roles and tasks that were allocated to each team member. Groups may disintegrate at this stage, or they may split. They often overcome such problems and remain intact and move into the next stage. Norming is the next stage. This is when conflict is resolved to the point where the majority of the group members agree upon the major direction of the group. That is, they agree to the same goals, methods, and leadership tactics that were set up in the previous stage to resolve a conflict. Power relations and group leadership style stabilizes here, and relative positions take hold amongst the group members. Now, when we look at performing, this is known as the doing stage, and it occurs when people start working towards the goals set and start accomplishing related objectives. Adjourning is that final stage that is reached by groups that were formed in an effort to achieve a specific goal in a specified time frame. This step does not occur for ongoing teams. This may be when you're dealing with a client or a patient that has a variety of issues that need to be addressed. The interprofessional team involves the health professionals who work in the same organisation and are working towards the same clients' or patients' improvement. Individuals in this team must know their work, their partners, processes, and outcomes relative to their role in the group. They will also meet regularly in order to update each other on that progress. The principles of effective collaboration follow the few rules. You need to avoid stereotypes. Our interactions with other professionals must relate to real people rather than stereotypes or distorted ideas about the roles and personality types they may possess. You must understand each other's roles as well. Unless we are attuned to the roles and duties of staff from other disciplines, we may miss opportunities for collaboration. And this will have a negative impact on the client's outcomes because they are not receiving the services that they should be. You should also avoid hierarchies in groups. In healthcare, we prefer collaboration rather than hierarchy. Does that mean there is no hierarchy in healthcare? It's all dependent on your organisation and how that organisation views their workers. You must also be sensitive to different values, priorities, and norms. Different professional groups tend to develop different values and priorities. We must not allow differences of perspective to undermine the quality of the service provided. You should also avoid preciousness. Recognize that you aren't the only person working with the client and that other health professionals are working in your team to enable a better outcome for the patient. In doing so, you need to be able to share or negotiate your time slots with the client and other health professionals who might be needed for certain sessions. And you should also use I statements to communicate your emotions, particularly if you are dissatisfied with a decision or an issue that's occurring within the group. An example of this is when you could say, I feel frustrated when you are late finishing your group as it impacts on time I spend with the clients. This is a better way of approaching an issue within a group rather than saying something like, you always go overtime with your group. That there comes off as quite rude and intimidating for the person you are addressing. So when you're on your way to becoming a health professional, try to implement these collaborative techniques when you are doing group work, as you are expected to work as part of a team when you enter a health organisation.